So, Chavre, welcome, and we're going to continue the series of Shoivim that we're in the middle of. Tonight's year, the introduction is, I know it's being recorded, and I have to say a proclamation that whatever I'm about to talk about tonight, I am nowhere holding in these inyanim. And what right do we have to talk about it then if I'm not holding it? It's because together, hopefully, if we discuss it as a group and we want to get close to the Eibishter, I want to get holier, so then we have a right to discuss it, not as in a preaching manner, but in a discussion manner. And we're going to see what the Heilige Svarim say, because today's year is, I have a lot of tshuva to do. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make a chel Hashem, but I'm just a regular human being that has a Yitzhara just as big, probably if not bigger than anybody else. And therefore, whatever we're going to discuss about is an oifen to be masakin and to do tshuva and to come close to the Eibishter and to try to knock the Yitzhara off its balance a little bit and gain some peace and serenity and the vacus to Hashem. So as we were discussing last time, not yesterday's year, but before Shabbos, we were discussing the inyan of the severity. Now we're in the middle of Shevim, just right, it's a continuation of the Shevavim. So you're aware of the Shevavim, right? The Parsha Shemais V'Rabbi Shalach, Yishem Shpatim, this man of which the Ariya Kadosh and the Heilige Svarim, the deeper Kabbalistic Svarim, were megala to us this awesome, gewaldig opportunity to do tshuva on the Chet of Pegama Bris and to work on becoming more holy. And before we continue, I saw from my Rebbe, Rabbi Shimon Morgenstern, he writes like this. He says that if you look into Rabbi the Chassidish Svarim, you won't find much of Shovim. Chabad, B'chalal, Yatzke, Chabad, we never spoke about Shovim. You look at the rest of them, put them around, they came out very, very, very shvach. Very in the Svarim of the Rebbe, you don't really see the terminology Shovim. Later, I'm nothing a little bit more, but also, it's not something that in the early Talmid B'al Shem that you find like a big doggish on the Indian of Shovim. And the question that he asked is why? Well, what's going on? Shovim is such a special and important Indian. Now, and especially for Chassidim that always try to get closer, why is it hidden? Even later, even a lot of the Svarim later, it's a very hidden idea. So first of all, simple teretz is, because the idea of Shoivim is a hidden idea. It's talking about Pegama Bris, Tikkun HaKedusha. That is a hidden idea. That's always by Chassidim are very delicate in the Indian when it comes to Shmeiras HaKedusha guidelines. It wasn't something that was just like, wow, like all over the place. It is an Indian which is more of a tzunuah Indian. But as the Doiris continue and we get closer to Mashiach and the Yitzaros loosen it up horrendously, oh my gosh, understatement. Oh boy. So therefore, we can't keep our guard so tight and like blind chas v'chalila ourselves to the Indian. My Rebbe, the Munkach Rebbe, may live long forever and forever, gesund. I heard him in a shir that he gave to, I think they were 9th graders in Masifta. And I was so happy to hear it because people are like, yeah, you have to be careful when you're discussing these things. He started a Shovim shir as follows. Talking to schnooks, maybe 14, 13, maybe even 12, I'm not sure what grade it was, young guys. And he's like, today if I discuss this topic, it's not like any kid is scratching his head like, what are you talking about? Today, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking to little juniors. Everybody knows. This is the Heilige Munkach Rebbe. My Rebbe is, I know, he's in his mid-80s. And I did this a couple of years ago. He's already passed. He's like, today, whatever I'm going to say here now, nobody is scratching his nose trying to figure out what the Rebbe was saying. Everybody was like, exactly what I'm talking about. What is it? Sad because that's the Yitzhara going on, and Mamish making big trouble on us. So, therefore, we're not. The worst thing is, there's an isser. There's an isser. You're not allowed to put a stumbling block in front of a blind guy, right? So today, if we're watching that the Yitzhara is beating us up from all sides, something we're not talking about. No, something you do talk about. Of course, because if we can help somebody, how many times you hear somebody, I was in the airplane coming back from America the other week, some guy, Mama wasn't feeling well, he asked me for Tylenol. Tylenol? I'm looking for myself, Chas v'Shalom. Guys, no way, no good dude does that. Of course, if I have my pocket, give you a Tylenol. If I have a remedy that I can give for somebody, right? So of course I have to give it to him. So nowadays, that we're in an Indian that we're all the biggest trouble with the Yitzhar and the Indian. And Hashem Yerachim, and big siyata d'shmayim, big protection. We're not allowed to blind ourselves, and we have to know that the first of all, Avada is hope, Avada is a tikkun noira. Eivsha loves us. We have to know Shavim came more revealed and more revealed. I'll tell you something else. The Melech Shloshim from Munkach himself, the previous Munkach Rebbe who died before the Holocaust. So we know today in Yerushalayim especially, it was already in New York they have it also not as strong as in the holy city of Yerushalayim, which is the city of Eish, but there's large Shovim gatherings where unbelievable, Thursdays and Fridays is a Moshe, very important. I strongly suggest that people should go. Either having the Gamliel Rabinovitz Friday in Zichron Moshe by the Shnidlach. You don't have to go for the whole thing. If you want, you could. I'm not saying what I'm saying, but it's a long event that starts at 11 and goes Mincha Gedoyle. But in the middle, there's something called the Tefillah, the Rishash, the Holy Rishash, the big Kabbalist, that the Heilige Rishash wrote a Tefillah with a lot of meditations in the Indian of the Tikkun of Pagama Bris. And it's a very inspiring. There's some people that do it Thursday. Yeshiva Shar Shemayim does it Thursday, probably in the afternoon. Friday is also, for many reasons, a greater time because it's most proper if you can. If you cannot, Shemai says it's okay to do it without fasting. But the best thing is if you do fasting, and when you come to do this Tikkun or Shash, because it's totally in the Indian of Pidyon, of tiniest, which we're going to get to in another shir, the greatness of all of this. But Friday, it's only till about 12 o'clock, so it's not so hard. But even if I'm not even going to the Chumras of fasting, even if not, it's very inspiring, and it's something which even if none of us are holding to make the Yichudim, but usually by all these Tikkun Rishash events, the Shlich Tzibur is a Mekubal that knows how to be Mechav these things, and he's Motzei, the whole crowd in the Kavanah. And you just sit there, and it's inspiring. It's like a washing machine. Now, even before the Tikkun, I'm not even getting into the Tikkun yet, because we know that the Rebbe gave us also the Tikkun HaKloli, which is so important to say. And we're going to get into a lot of the remedies of Avada, Krishma, Shulamita, Balatanya. But let's go back to the Indian, as we were first starting. The Nakuda of, first of all, that, so Rabbi Shemai said that the reason why originally was hidden was because yet it wasn't as problematic. It's always existed, but it wasn't something that was an Indian of being more tzenua. But as the Riches HaGolus continues, even though it's only 200, maybe 300 years, 250 to 300 years later after the time of the beginning of Talmid Shem Tov, but slowly and slowly, more and more, it was revealed until today we see it's mamish like a holiday. It's a Yom Tov. Shovim, everyone's talking about Shovim. Every yeshiva has programs. Every year, it's not anything you see in the signs on the street. There's Shovim of whether it's the Tikkun or Shash, or Shovim of whether it's fasting, or Shovim whether it's like the Sfardim have a day kuli of learning with a tiniest dibur, not to talk. Everyone is oisik because we need it today. We need the zalum hazeh. If the Tzahar is making so much trouble, the secret's hot that there's a tikkun that we can't be helped. It's not like it's over. So Mechslozer said, actually, in his times, he was about 100 years ago, he didn't like the public gatherings because he felt that various of these type of Averis are usually done b'tzina, so the tshuva should be b'tzina. But that was then. But like I heard in Muktzerav today, that because today the Aveira is not anymore so b'tzina, so I think the tshuva became a little bit more revealed, and the power of the service of these getting together and doing tshuva and shovim as a klal, as a tzibur, makes a very big impact. So we were busy discussing, right? We were busy discussing last week the scary share. I got it ready in regards to somebody to listen to it. He said that was spooky, and I said that was yet a cherry on top. You know what I mean? Just in order to do tshuva, we discussed, person has to know a little bit what's going on in this Aveira in order to spook us in to doing tshuva. Because if we're not spooked in, that's a big deal. By the way, you have to apologize.
You left off that you lose everything when you are Pagam verse? You lose everything.
Oh yeah, everything. Bakol, Mikol, Koil. Koil is the meat of your side. Bakol, Mikol, Koil. You lose everything. If that person's poigim in the Bakol, Mikol, Koil, so everything goes out the window. Everything goes out the window. Avada, the tikkun, that's what they say, the Rebbe's tikkun koli, which is a tikkun on Pagama Bris, is a tikkun for everything, but also for shidduchim for shalom bayis for everything. Because if you're sacking that, then across the board probably okay. I mean, of course, there's many things we're sacking, but that's the cheta shorishi, the root, the words we're going to see soon. We have a lot to discuss. I don't know how much we'll be able to cover now, or we'll cover over the continuation of this year. Again, because this is being recorded, because people are coming and people might listen to part of this year, fall asleep part of this year, listen. I have to say, whatever I say that sounds spooky, please know that tshuva is easy. Tshuva is easy. The Meisavscha says, tshuva is the easiest thing. Tshuva is easy. The process of tshuva, the continuation of tshuva, that might get hard and has to be real. But the idea, a person's like, wow, this is too hard for me, I can't. Chas v'chalila. But Meisavscha says, tshuva is the easiest mitzvah. Because the second a person says, I have charata for what I did, I'm a kabul, I stop my aver, number one, short stop, charata, and kabbalah Allah asid, you did tshuva. Of course, now I got to clean up the mess. Cleaning up the mess is also a process doable. Tzaddikim, the Rebbe gave us tzaddikim klali. There's Kriyash Mashalamita, there's a mahalach, there's a derech, there's nothing to be burnt out of. Chas v'shalom, to think that, oh boy, I messed up so royally, I messed up so big, I don't think I can do anything. Chas v'shalom, that is the biggest baloney in the world. Everybody can fix everything. Everybody can, there's no reason. But again, I'm going to preach spooky a little bit, again, to give you a pinch, to mess with ourselves, in order to get us in, to understand what we did, in order to make us really want to do the tshuva. But when we do the tshuva, it's not something which is, it's possible, and we will do it, and we have to know the whole time. But again, I feel responsibility, if we're going to discuss about the tikkun, we do have to know the severity of the chait, a little bit to know what is so bad about the numbers. What is so bad? Is it worse than a cheeseburger? I don't know. Is it worse than Chil Shabbos? Is it worse than missing an egg Philip, Pagama bread? The answer is yes. Why? So before we go into what it says in the Zohar, I want to read to you what the Heilige Ariya Kadosh Chaim Vital writes to us in the Shar Kavanus in the Indian of Drush Laila. Okay, this where he discusses the kavanus of the nighttime, kavanus of going to sleep. By the way, stop a kavanah. He already says, everyone knows to go to sleep on the left, and then after chatzos, if you still want to get some more sleep, turn over to your right. He says it helps against all these things that you won't get that it's on your case. Most people, he's talking. The Rizal is writing. Most people are getting up at chatzos. And he says you still want to sleep. When you go to sleep at the beginning of the night, the best time to go to sleep is the beginning of the night. And usually get up at chatzos.
It's like us who go to sleep at chatzos.
After chatzos, but we should still go to sleep on the left side because he's talking to those payers that still want to put for after chatzos. I mean, I'm just saying the way he's saying. After chatzos, you're still tired. Turn to the right, meaning because you already slept a few hours left. But that's what it says.
You wake up in the middle of the night at 5 in the morning.
Turn to the right. Yeah. According to the others. Eventually go to sleep, different the animals. But this is what and then he says there's a lot of kavanos, and of course one of the main topics over here is the Indian of Kriya Shema Shalamita, which by the way, this is the biggest ticket. Of course, our Rebbe was Magalim going to get into that. I'm not sure if it's going to yet to be in this year, doubt it. But we have to know that our Rebbe gave us 10 kapitlas to Hilum, the Tikkun HaKlali. It's the biggest matana in history up to Mashiach comes. That is 10 kapitlas to Hilum that the Rebbe revealed. And then, and even though it's Sasum Ma'oid, we have the Kavanas in the Tikkun HaKlali that Tzaddikim knew about. I mean, it's a matana Meira in the world. But before different Shir, Tikkun HaKlali, and we have to know, always say Tikkun HaKlali. Tikkun HaKlali is a tremendous washing machine. But the Heliyah, it doesn't take away at all. Not at all. It doesn't override the meaning of Kriya Shema Shalamita. The number one remedy for Tikkun HaBris, the number one thing that the Rebbe Kaddish teaches us, and it's already in the Gemara, V'cheref Pepiyos, right, is the Indian of Kriya Shema Shalamita. And there's a lot of deep kavanas, but before the deep kavanas, which I have no shaykhs to. I'm not even going to say. I just want to call what we call the niglas, the revealing, and that we can understand. So he goes like this, and this is, over here he's going to tell us a little bit, and then we're going to read a piece of Zohar. And yes, I hope to get spooked. I hope it should make an impact in order for us and for myself, at least for myself, to be able to want to do tshuva. So he writes like this. That you should know. That in all the Averis that the Torah talks about, even the severe Averis, none of them, ein behem misha moiled mazik mamish k'may hamoitzi shich v'zer v'tol k'may bar is in any, not even the most severe of all those that I mentioned before, which were pretty top cardinal, serious sins. None of them create complete mazikim, complete destroyers of our souls, enemy power, as much as someone that's poigim in his bris. Even, and by the time he discusses this in Tanya, this Nakuda, it's even worse in a certain aspect. The tshuva is easier in Zer Levatolo, in wasted seed, but in the etzem avera, in what it creates a mazik, it's even worse than chas v'shalom, somebody that had a trial improper with a good thing. Why is that? Because at least there, we have to understand one thing that he explains later, and I started explaining this in the shir. Maybe it has to be a little bit rated, maybe not. And I'm going to tzaddikim that said that this is today okay to talk about. We have to know, and I discussed this in the previous shiurim, that Zera is called Zera Kodesh. All Zera that comes out from a Yid is Heilig, like we know from the Mauritian, that it was the Seder Das. Zera Kodesh, a Yid has a tipa that comes out, it's Kodesh. It's water, it's called Mayim Kedoshim. It's water that comes out from a Yid's head. Yid is so Heilig. And therefore, that's the problem. The problem is that we remove the soul also whenever there's a Zera that comes out, Zera Kodesh, it comes out whenever a person has a mistake, it came out. It's a neshama that has left the place of neshamas in the upper worlds. Chas v'chalila, Hashem Yerachim. The tshuva, is much. But if a person, even was with a goy, or with something which he shouldn't have created a mamzer, at least he created a being. He created a being. So he didn't go void. He's messed up now. Oh man, he's got big problems. Say that tshuva, there's tshuva for everything. But yes, the tshuva is easier in Zer Levatolo because nothing was created in actuality besides mazikin. It's in a spiritual oifen, but it's real. But the problem is, the reason why that Veir is worse is because you took out a neshama and put it into nowhere. You didn't put it into, it went nowhere. You took holy water out of the bucket and you created a real existence. And you know what catches that? There's a woman, her name is, we don't say her name, she's the Yitzhara's, the Nukva part, Nukva to Tahim Rabbah, the Tikkun Klali is Negda, is connected her.
It's the wife?
She's, it's one of the name that we don't like to say. It's very,
Lilith.
Yes.
Because it's in Tanakh.
Yeah,
But better not to say.
Yeah, we're afraid. He writes over here also spooky things about that Nakuda of the Samach Mem and his crow, and his fiance, right? So she ends up kidnapping this. Ends up going to her. And there's a very big problem that happens. Number one, first of all, you created an existence, right? And you create a real existence, and we said later it comes chasing you your whole life. You have to kill that existence. Besides the fold of the Nekuda Mitis, that now you have a big problem that you created, and the Shoma came down. What I'm about to say, don't think of any, but it says that these are your children. Chas v'shalom, person has to know. They can play around with your future. Person can say, oh, I have no children. We don't know. There are people that we know that have children. Could be it's different. Cheshbonis for sure. Chas v'shalom to think about anybody. No. Talking about for myself. Talking about person could chas v'chalila later. And I one time met with somebody, Shemaiah said, listen, I don't know if you can have any children. Got a lot of children to do and a lot of children. Tzaddikim know. So a person has to know that you have to, first of all, twofold. You have to kill this mazik, and you have to return the soul to the proper, to back up tachas kisei hakavod, like this, through a kosher way, through marriage, through being properly married, to be able to bring down these children into true Oivdei Hashem.
You kill it or you just shove it?
So through our tshuva, we kill it. That's what it says. Merachefes al pnei hamayim. So from the Kavanah said Ariya Kadosh was a from the Zohar. Merachefes al pnei hamayim. Merachefes. The outside letters are mace. The inside letters are repach. The 288 sparks. So we have to kill it, but it's not dead forever. We have to kill the mazik which haunts us. That's the one that after a person dies, right? These are the children that were born if we didn't do tshuva. If we do tshuva, which we could do tshuva, which is my whole point to bring us to tshuva, none of this is negay. It's all good. You know, tshuva, all these things go back. And tshuva, a person doesn't have to be OCD about his tshuva. Avadu is tshuva al tshuva, but he has to do tshuva with simcha, which is the biggest tikkun for Begam Bris. Biggest tikkun for Begam. The Rebbe talks about the Salant, the Holy Rebbe Nachman. Take a tshuva is v'hoya ekev tishmun, v'hoya. Rav Brenner was at our bar mitzvah this past week, and he was talking about this to me a little bit. You know, the Rebbe says in the Torah, "V'hoya ekev tishmun." Even the nikvus in the Mashiach, where it's so difficult, this Indian of the Yetzer Hara's activities, but through v'hoya, which ain't v'hoya the lashon simcha, the Gemara tells us, right? V'hoya is lashon simcha. So therefore, the simcha, I don't have to worry about. But the Mitzvah says again, I'm trying to make it spooky to know what we're dealing with. Yeah, fire is a great thing, right? And I took my kids Hanukkah to some fire show. Oh my gosh, the guy the whole time he's singing, fire's not a joke, but he was blowing up everything around him. And the kids see that, but fire is dangerous, don't do this at home. I come home, my kids are making fires at lighting manures, my laundry room on top of the, But Matthias says, what I'm trying to say is that we have to know that this is spooky in order to bring us to the truth, which is Geshmak. So I'm saying what it says, like this, we can really be Zohar. So therefore, because no other Aveira creates a mazik like this Aveira, so we have to get rid of the mazik. And this is the mazik that he haunts us. He's eating at our mazel. He's eating at everything. So we got to kill him. We got to kill him. It's the truth. The truth is a story to Balatanya. That there was a fellow, and Nebuch went far off the right path, Nebuch. And he had, sadly, with a goita, children that he shouldn't have married, a goita, and he came to Tshuva, and he was, Mamish couldn't live with himself, and he went around in Golos, and he fasted for like 7 years, who knows what happened, and nothing was helping the Tshuva, and he came to the Balatanya, and the Balatanya gave him a derech of Tshuva, and as he was there, every time he came back to Balatanya for another derech of Tshuva, each one of his children that were going died. Until he was but that was in a physical essence with the Goita. In a spiritual essence with it Chafashon, as mamish on the loose with nobody, our tshuva, every tikkun klali, every kriyash mashalamita. The Gemara tells us already that some people are zoicha with kriyash they could kill over 1,000 mazikin. Somebody that not only there, every kriyash kills even one mazik, but the idea is that there's a tikkun that we could become. It's no sweat. Sweat is in order to bring us to the tshuva. Once you do the tshuva, the tshuva should be with sweat. It should be a real tshuva with tears and the moist. But after you do that, you have to know that what I'm saying here now is the way to bring us into the tshuva. Because we have to know the mitzvahs. So he says that you should know from all the various, because whoever, this is mamish, whoever does any other averis, also just mazikin that are created and they make big trouble on him. But of course, don't think that now I'll start doing other averis because this one's scary. No. Every aver creates mazikin that harms. But says the Eligari, Avo, this avera is like crazy, like on all levels, like infinite trouble.
Why is this Avera not like specifically mentioned in the Torah as like do not kill?
Baltanya asked that question. If it's so severe,
It's not one of the 10 of the Dibros.
if it's so severe, Baltanya asks you a question. If it's so severe, why is it not mentioned in the question? At the moment, I don't remember because I have to remember. I'm going to look it up for next year. But he asked the question towards the beginning, and time when he talks about the Kedusha. I don't remember now what he answers. And I have to think about it.
Supposedly it's all three of them.
Yeah, and we have to remember it's a very important question, and we have to answer it. Not now because my head's in the smoking. I'm not sure. I don't want to lose my train of thought, and I don't remember it like this. I'm not so sharp at the moment. But it's a good question. I mean, by the time you ask the question, answers the question, and we have to take it. No, if it's so severe, it should be like the first in the difference. But maybe later. So the kids, I'm going to answer. But the Nakuda is, as this is pretty scary. Right? Chavra, pretty scary. Maybe too scary. I don't know. Just want to continue being scary. Yeah, I'm really. The reason I'm talking about it is Nachamu because we're in the midst of bringing over. We're going to come to.
I don't think it's serious because I feel like everyone's on the same boat.
Right, everyone has to know. Right, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's scary as it is because we have to know the emes. And everyone, if you hide the emes, and no one's like big deal. It's like an affair which is so in our faces today that if we don't know to stay away from it, then we won't.
Also, what Rabbi Chanara said that you walked in with.
Telling you, the guy was fainted. It was mamish. He was straight up. I took the guy over. I said he's married to ex Matthias. I was like, yeah, it was like, okay. So he's got, like, he sent him on a bunch of locations across the world. He had to, that night he went to a bunch of places to say he could go. He went to, first the Melech, he sent to Uman, he sent him to,
that night?
He went that guy, he said, go now. He said like this. Go to Governor Melech, go to Uman, like all his spots. The guy did.
Did he have chosen again?
He's still waiting. Shaila is if I'm not sure if he. I don't know. It's not my business.
If tshuva is so easy, then how could it be that?
The tshuva, tshuva has to be. The tshuva is easy. Depends how much you put kavanas alev to the tshuva, right? Depends how much. Meaning, a person can do tshuva. Is tshuva, which we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about tshuva, which is a chiddush of the Meisasa, which will make everybody smile afterwards.
And then what Marash says about it.
But I'm saying, just to answer your question, that the real tshuva in this, the Zohar Kodesh says there is no tshuva. Okay, the Rosh Chachma says it can't be. The Bnei famous Bnei Sasra, he brings on the Tahol Shir, which I wanted to get to today, that Bnei Sasra brings down the Rosh Chachma that says that they can't be talking about that there's no tshuva because the Chazal already tell us there's nothing that stands in the way of tshuva. So he says that Rosh Chachma answers that a lighter level tshuva doesn't know. You have a higher level of tshuva, which is a deeper level of tshuva. We have to know what it means. Tshuva data, tshuva yalah, big important tshuva mishmuz we're going to get to. Another thing our Heilige Rebbe Nachman said, that nobody understands the Zohar but me. It's not kipshuta at all. He says the avada is tshuva, and avada is that tikkun, of course, avada and avada. Mesosir comes out that in days that the Eibishter gave us, like Aser Yisumei Tshuva and Shoiv Michlal, he doesn't end it off, but this is heading to, you see in his Torah, these days are days that when we do, it's like Chazal tell us, that the Eibishter says, Pischu li Pesach kemacha, and Yeftach loi Pesach shal ulam. You make a hole for me like a needle in a haystack. A little bit, do the best you can do, and I'll already make that hole as big as in a huge whole ballroom. So a person, that's the Nekuda Zmanim, which is the Nekuda that Bnei Sascha says to Shovim. I have to reiterate this because this is the Nekuda, the main. You're ready in the chizik. You're ready. I'm trying to make everybody cry, and you guys ice cream. This is which I want to get to. First, I'm trying to, beat ourselves up a little bit, the chap, in order to go to that. But that's the Matthias, I guess. But the Matthias is, we're going to get to that more. But I just want to share with you what the Heilige Zohar Kodesh says. The Heilige Kodesh says, and I'm not going to go into all three because again, it's the Nekuda Pagama Bris. There are three things which send the Shekhinah flying out of the world. Three things that send the Shekhinah flying out of the world. Lashik's Parsha Desire. And they cause that the Eibishter says, I can't live in this world. You know, the Eibishter, the whole world is, the Eibishter wants to dear about the Chtoinu. The Eibishter wants to hang out with us. The Eibishter wants us to hang out with him. And the whole world lives in. But there are three things that the Eibishter says, I can't be with you guys. And this is three forms of Pagama Bris. Okay? Three forms of Pagama Bris. One is if a person, Chas V'Shalom, is not careful with the Nida cycle. One is if Chas V'Chalil, a person, is together with a non-Jew. And the third is somebody that Chas V'Chalil, decides that he doesn't want any children. The Chas V'Shalom plugs it out in the middle of its, process of birth. But the Nekuda is that these things are something which the Shekhinah says, and this is in Yonah, I'm out. It means that we're talking about the Mabul, right? The Mabul came from a Mokum. The Eibishter says, what does Chazal say? Whenever these Pagam Abris in the Realmalsia Baloilim, right? It says like terrible disasters come to the world. Right? We know that Abishta says, what does he say? He says by the Indian of by Niyuf and these things of the Pagamim, the Kedusha, what's the wording Kaviyachum that Chazal tells us over there? The Eibishter doesn't stick around. There's when people are just so careless and like, right? It's horrendous. It's mamish. I think enough of the spooky. Yeah, enough of the spooky. Just the Nakuda is I now want a little focus on the Nakuda of the ticket. So first of all, the Heilige B'nai Sasra. We're going to bring it back in. We mentioned it. B'nai Sasra goes in that his whole mimer and shoyvim is the biggest chizik, Rabbi say. And this is the importance, the reason why we had the last two shir with today about the spooky is to appreciate now what we're about to learn. And that is as follows. The Metzius is the same Heilige Zohar HaKadosh, which is all over the place. I just quoted one place in Shemais, and there's many places where it talks about Pashid, stam, wasted seeds. That's spooky. Says the spookiest that is, you can't help it. If you did such an avera, there's a hope for you. That can break a person and send the person to go right up the derech. No such thing. Could be, according to the others, the reason why the Zohar HaKadosh does say that is in order to spook the guy's guts out. And I wrote, oh my gosh, I still want to get it.
It happened with Acher.
Yes, that's the whole chat. Nesassin says that the whole thing of Chutz Me'acher was he still could have done tshuva. He would have been Zohar to be the biggest, but he didn't get the message.
To do tshuva with knowing that your tshuva doesn't really count is the
That would have been the highest.
level.
The man would have done the biggest things, and that's truthfully what the tshuva Mahav is. That's the greatest tshuva.
Zohar said.
Mamish. This is exactly. This is one of the roots. One of the two roots of that is that still a person mamish. Rav Tzadik says this. That this is the whole Indian that a person can mamish show that he really loves Hashem. Even though he knows it could be, he will never help, but I'm still going to tshuva. That's the ultimate tshuva I have. That mamish is the deepest meaning of all. But Meisascha says something else. Meisascha first, like I said earlier, brings down the Heilige Reishis Chachma, and it starts off like this. He says as follows, the Heilige Meisascha. The pasuk tells us at the end of Eicha. Yesterday he brought that Eicha, so it's a continuation, has to do with Tikkun Hashem Tshuva. The pasuk ends off, Hashiveinu Hashem Eilecha v'no Shuva Chadesh Yameinu Yekedem. This is big Tshuva. That's an Eicha. That's an Eicha. Yeah. Everybody else. So if you look in the pasuk in Eicha, so the word v'nashuva, we read it v'nashuva in the Cree, but in the Ksiv, the way it's written in the Torah, it says v'nashuv. There's no hay. We have a Messiah from Moshe Rabbeinu, that this pasuk does have a hay. That we say it, but it's not written in, meaning if you look at a klaf, an archul mushroom, if you look in the back, it'll say v'nashuva, but in the proper dictate, and in Eicha, it ends off, it says, Kri v'lo yiksiv. Yeah? Kri v'lo yiksiv. Does it have the psukim, just the medrash?
It's like Emma
Yes, because this is something we only know from Moshe Rabbeinu. This is Allah Moshe Messina, it's Torah Shabbal Peh. It came over all the way from the Messiah that we know that it has to have a silent thing. So it's called Torah Shabbal Peh because it's written, it wasn't written, but it's said. What is this hay of an Ashuva? It's got the psukim in there?
It says v'nashuva with the
Yeah, because this is it's not actually, it's the Pearson measure. Look in
They
the.
might bring it up in the midrash, just stop.
Could be. Yeah, but if you look at the Chumash over there, you see, Avi, right by, bring there's a Chumash, a small Chumash, right there, that guy. Bring it, I'll show you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'll show you where it says, Kri v'lo yiksiv. You see right here. Look at this, you see? Hashiveinu Hashem Eilecha v'no Shuv. That's what it says in the real Eicha. Those that lay Eicha beklaf, it says in a Shuv. But we have a Messiah. Torah Shabbal Peh, it has to be means v'no Shuv. Explains the Heilige B'nai Sascha. why is it that this Vinashuva Hey is a Kri? We only know it Baal Peh, and it's not written in the Torah. So he says the Nakuda is, we know, so first he brings, the first thing is, he brings down the Zohar HaKadosh that says that on this Chet of Pagama Bris, which he says, like we will see, the rest finishes, there's a pasuk that says, Shuvi Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha. The Heilige Pasuk tells us, Shuvi Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha. The Navi tells us in Hosea, Shuvi Yisrael ad Hashem Elokecha ki chashalta ba'avinecha. Chazal tell us, Stam ovenus Pagama Bris. The Heilige Menesasra tells us if you spell out oven in the full letters, Ayin, Ayin Yud Nun, Vav Vav, Nun Vav Nun, it's Grammatir Rimach 248, which is, this is an affair which is, Pagama Bris is the whole Rimach Heberim, the whole essence of the body, those the Aveir, so oven Stam is this Aveir Pagama Bris. But he says like this. So we know, Sheven Hashem Elech Neshuva, but the Hay is only Torah Shabbat Peh. Now, Shuvi Yisrael Ad Hashem Elokecha. What does it mean that Shuvi Yisrael Ad Hashem Elokecha? That he has to do tshuva until it reaches Hashem Elokecha. Until it reaches Hashem Elokecha. Asked, the question is asked, is there a tshuva that doesn't reach Ad Hashem? What does it mean, Shuvi Yisrael Hashem Elokecha? Is there a tshuva that does reach? Because we know that even if Chas v'Chalila, a person was kafar be'ikar, a guy's an apikoros, he can still come to tshuva. So what does it mean? Tshuva is Ad Hashem Elokecha. Says the Heilige Reishis Chachma Behemshech in the piece from the Bnei Selscha, that it's referring to this Zohar, that this tshuva only reaches Ad Hashem Elokecha. Why is that? Because the Heilige Reishis Chachma says it can't be that there's no tshuva on Pagama Bris. Can't be. But what he means is the tshuva that's a tikkun for Pagama Bris has to be tshuva. We know that there's Yud Kei Vav Kei. There's two A's in Hashem's name. The first A is Torah Shebechsav, and the second A, which is the last A, is Torah Shebal Peh. It says like this: the tshuva tatov, which is the hey tatov, that's a simpler tshuva. Person makes him fast. He has regret. Beautiful. That's tshuva won't help for the Pagama Bris. There's a second tshuva, which is the tshuva